Hey y'all, it's your girl. So I am here today. I haven't been on a recording in a long time. I haven't done a video and posted it in a long time, but this is New Year's Eve and I got some shit to say going into the new year. And so a little bit of disclaimers I want to put out there. If a little cursing here and there, or a little language that may bother you, if that's an issue for you, then I suggest that you click off of this video, because at the ripe age of 55, what I am not going to do in my videos is try to sugarcoat my feelings and the things that I want to say to spare your feelings. So you have options. You can go ahead and click off this video and go do something else, or you can stay here and figure it out along the way. Yes, I use some choice words. I curse every now and then because I want to. It's not that I have to, but it's because I want to. So that's a disclaimer. So I heard somebody was looking for your girl because of the post I put up about Carrie Bryant and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Yeah, well, here I go. Now let me stop playing. Wasn't nobody looking for me, y'all. I don't want my people in the back talking about, who looking for you, what we need to do. We don't want those problems. Okay. So let's get to the point. So I'm here to talk about this whole controversial topic that has been going on. This should not even be a damn topic, right? We shouldn't even be having this conversation. We got world hunger and we got shit going on in the government that we should be putting our energy towards, but yet somebody wanted to have an issue and police a woman's body and what she wears and try to tell her what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. So, hey, they opened up the gate. I walked in. Let's talk about it. Number one, how is it that what a woman wears can be blamed for the lust of a man? Like, a man's lust is our fault? That don't compute. She has on a dress. She's curvy. Her curves are showing. And typically, when a woman is curvy, ask me how I know. No matter what she wears, her curves are going to show. Unless you want her to wear a burlap bag or some kind of trash bag that's just going to hang off of her. Ain't nobody going to do that just to, satisfy you and make you less lustful. Because guess what? That burlap bag and that trash bag ain't going to stop you from being lustful. Okay? Let's just keep it real. And so I'm wondering how her dress is an issue. Then you wanted to put on there, well, she's a first lady. She should appear a certain way. She should dress a certain way. This, that, and the other. First lady, number one, is a made up term in the religious circle. Okay? It's not biblical. That's number one. Number two, First Lady, guess what? She was a woman before she married Pastor Bryant. She was Carrie before she married Pastor Bryant. She had her own thoughts. She had her own style. All of that before she married him. Are you telling me that now that she married this man, she's supposed to let go of everything that she is because now she's quote unquote this first lady? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm pretty sure they had a conversation about the dress that she was going to wear, what the dress looked like, so that they can, number one, coordinate their outfits. And number two, I could see her, baby, look, this is the dress I had made, or the stylist, whatever, gave me this dress. I love it. This is what I'm wearing. Or maybe she didn't. Maybe she said, I'm going to surprise him. And when I walk out the room, he's going to be surprised and he's going to see what I have on. No matter what, that's their relationship. However it went, if it went. Okay? The fact remains that people cannot police women's bodies and try to body shame them and tell them what they cannot and cannot wear, no matter what their title is or what position they are in. It ain't none of your business. Okay? So we think about, oh, well, growing up in the church, I done heard some of everything. You're not supposed to let your shoulders show. You're not supposed to show leg. You're not supposed to do this and that. You're not supposed to show cleavage because it make the men lust after you and this, that, and the other. Okay, so tell me this. I ate a taco salad last night. Very hearty taco salad. A lot of, romaine lettuce, black beans. I had a lot of veggies in it, all this, that, and the other, right? It was really good. So if what I wear causes you issues and makes you lust and can cause you to fall into sin, does what I eat make you shit? When you woke up this morning, did you go to the restroom and shit taco salad because I ate taco salad last night? I'm just asking. I don't think so. So let's do away with all the bull, okay? The bottom line is, for centuries, for years, since the beginning of time, men have wanted to police women and tell women what they should not do, how they should dress, everything under the sun. All right? And for a long time, they got away with it. In the church, I can remember as a young girl in the church, going through what they call a consecration period, right? And this was a time where we had to wear, our whole body covered from head to toe. We couldn't go to any parties or dances. We couldn't hang out with friends. We just had to go to church. We had to read certain scriptures, all kinds of stuff. So going through that consecration period was supposed to help us stay pure, consecrate us so that we are pure and holy and able to do the work of the Lord, right? All the while in the church, all kind of foolishness is going on. The pastor sleeping with different people in the church, men and women. The pastor molesting children in the church. Ask me how I know. Yeah. Shortly after that consecration period, I remember I had to be probably about 11 or 12 years old. And my mom had taken me to the store. She had bought me this beautiful outfit. I can still see myself in that outfit that Sunday. And I felt amazing. It was a long blue skirt. It went down to my ankles, and it was a blue and white striped blouse. And I just thought I looked amazing, and I thought I was beautiful in it, right? All my life I have been curvy, right? As a child, I remember being called names pertaining to how big my butt was and things like that. So that's been with me all my life. So at this particular time, this Sunday, I wore my outfit, and I remember sitting in the back of the church waiting for the next service to start. We had already had Sunday school, and it was time for the next service to start. I was sitting by myself. I don't know why I was sitting by myself. I was I was one of the youngest children in the church. So the older teenagers probably were off doing whatever before service, and I was sitting in the church by myself. I remember the first lady of the church coming down and tapping me on my shoulder and saying, "The pastor wants to talk to you." Now, I can't remember what my thoughts were, but I can imagine I probably thought, maybe my mother or my sister told him I did something that I wasn't supposed to do, or maybe he was going to tell me there was like this new consecration assignment or something, that everybody had to do, and I was supposed to be a part of it. And again, the other teenage, children were not in the church with me. So maybe I thought that's where they were and they were telling me to come up there because it was some meeting or something. Whatever the case, I followed her upstairs to the, and I smiled because anybody that went to church at that time will be able to recognize what I'm talking about. But anywho, followed her upstairs to the pastor's office, and she walks in, she opens the door to let me in, and she leaves out and closes the door. So as I walk in the pastor's office, when you first walked in, there was like a sitting area, couch, chair, table, whatever. And then off to the right, if I'm facing the sitting area, off to the left was the pastor's office where he had his desk and things like that. So I walked in. It was my first the only time ever being in the pastor's office. So I walked in and I immediately sat down on the couch. And I remember him getting up from his desk and telling me to come into the office. And I, walked into the office, and I'm picturing it as I'm talking about it. I walked into the office, and he comes from around his desk, and he meets me at the end of the desk. And he kind of grabs me by my shoulders, and he, tells me to look at him, and I look at him. Mind you, I was a very timid and quiet child. Like, at the drop of a hat, I would cry. Like, you say hi to me, I'm crying. Because I was traumatized in many ways throughout my childhood. So I was very timid. Well, he puts his hands on my shoulders, and he tells me to look at him. And he says to me, I think he asked me if I had a boyfriend, and I told him, no. And then he tells me, well, if you ever when you feel like you're ready to have sex, I want you to come to me. He proceeds to kiss me in my lips. Okay? He proceeds to kiss me, and then he proceeds to open his desk drawer to show me that he has condoms in his drawer. Okay? What happened after that, I don't remember. I do remember leaving out of the office and going back downstairs to the sanctuary, and from there I have no memory of what happened after that. I do remember vowing to myself that when I turned 18 that I would never go back to church again. Okay? Because that was the only incident personally for me in the church at that time. But it wasn't the only one that I knew about. So for me, it wasn't a safe haven. It wasn't safe at all. After that, things are a blur, so I don't remember if I continued to go back to church. I know that I moved away and lived with another family, and that church part of my life was null and void. I was done, and that happened about, I would say, the age of 14-ish or something like that. But yeah, so are you telling me that my long blue skirt and my blue and white striped top caused this man to lust after me and do the things that he did and say the things that he said? No. Okay, so we got to stop it. We got to stop it. We got to call a thing, as Ayana would say. And we got to stop the bullshit. Okay? Overwhelmingly, women, especially black women, are not safe in a lot of churches. And I'm saying that with my whole chest. I've been in a lot of churches, and I've seen a lot of things. Another memory that I have as an adult. No, I wasn't molested by this person as an adult, but I remember being at a conference because I was one of the youth leaders. I was out of town at a conference. After the conference, the leaders of the church met with the leader of the entire like conference, how they have, the Church of the Living God or Church of God in Christ, and they have the leader of all of the churches. So our church went to dinner with the leader of that church. I'm sorry, of that organization. And I remember sitting at the table, and I was kind of corner, on the other side of the table from him. And I remember him asking me my name, and I told him, and he asked me, what do I do in the church? And I told him. And then he looked at the pastor of the church that I attended and told that pastor, oh, you need to keep her. She needs to be on your pastor's aide. She needs to be working right next to you. Yeah, I knew exactly what that meant. I've been in church long enough to know exactly what that meant. It wasn't, oh, I'm looking at her and I'm hearing her spiritual abilities and, she can be an amazing spiritual leader. No, it was, this needs to be your side piece. You need to have her right next to you. Yeah. Another, and I would say the very most recent incident I've had when it comes to church has been me. I was going through a very hard spiritual time at this time because I was really trying to find God for myself. And I had spent so many years with allowing people to tell me who God is to me and who God should be to me, that I had gotten, really fed up with it. And I was just like, God, I want to know you for myself. I see all these people doing what they doing, then they get up in the pulpit and they preach one thing and they live a different thing, and I'm just sick of it. I'm not trying to leave you, but I don't want to have nothing to do with their asses. So I need to know you for myself. And so I got involved in another church, and during this time I was celibate. I really, because for me it wasn't that I felt like everybody should take that route, but for me I needed to step back and just not do anything, not have any involvement with anybody, and it just needed to be me and God. So I decided I wanted to practice celibacy. I needed to start really, seeking God in a different way, in a different understanding of God and things like that. And during this time, I'm going to church, deacons, ministers, they're trying to flirt, do this thing, that thing, whatever. And I'm just, denying everything. Still trying to stay focused, and then I was told, that this person did not want me to date anybody, and they wanted me to remain celibate. What I later found out was that I was very valuable to the congregation and to the ministry as a single woman, because it would draw other men into the congregation seeking to potentially date me. That was the strategy. So if I remained single, if I didn't date, if I remained celibate, I wasn't attached to anybody, then when men visited the church and inquired about me, that would be what they would know. And that would potentially cause them to want to join the church in order to potentially have, an opportunity to be that person that I, date or have sex with. Many of these stories I am saying right here for the first time. Why? Because I'm over the bullshit. I'm over it. I'm over it. I have more stories. As I said before, there's secrets that should not have left Cancun. But guess what? I ain't no secret keeper no more. That whole controversy stirred up something in me. And y'all might say, what does all this have to do with, Carrie Bryant and Cheyenne Bryant and what they had on and what you're talking about? It has a lot to do with it. It has a lot to do with it. Women have been used, abused for so long at the name of Christianity and church and what's proper and what should and should not be done and what they should and should not do and what they should and should not wear. It's time out for it. It's time out for it. Yep. So I think I've hit all my talking points on that topic. I do plan on doing, more videos going into the new year, especially this evening or tomorrow, to just give a very encouraging and inspiring talk about, going into 2026 and things like that. But I encourage you to follow me, like this video, share this video with anyone that you feel like would benefit from it. I encourage you to be authentically who you are and don't allow anyone to put their thumb on your neck and hold you back from being who you are. I encourage you to not allow judgmental people to be in your ear. I know that there weren't only men who were speaking about what she had on. There were women too. And that concerns me because why? Go back to my analogy of my taco salad. Why does what another woman wear or how she carries herself and what she decides to do, why does that bother you? Is she harming herself? Now, she was, harming herself and doing something that could potentially cause her to lose her life or, something like that, then yeah, let's intervene. Let's help our sister out. But where is that in this scenario? I'm confused. Why is it so hard for us, especially as Black women, to celebrate one another? To tell our sisters, you look good. You look amazing. And I saw some of that talk on social media where people were giving her flowers, that she looked good. She looked amazing. The dress was fire. The dress was amazing. This, that, and the other. And I love that. I love that for her, and I love that for us as Black women, because we need more of that. We don't get it enough. And I can go further, even in corporate America. Everybody wanted to talk about Dr. Bryant, Cheyenne Bryant. She's a therapist, and she shouldn't, she's a professional woman. She shouldn't be dressed in the way that she dresses. Guess what? That woman is in a professional career where I'm sure when she goes to talk to her clients, do sessions, do interviews, I've seen many of her interviews, she dresses a certain way during those interviews. If she wants to let her hair down and put on that bodysuit and feel the way she feels, let her do that. She has every right to do that. As a black woman in corporate America myself, guess what? I'm the only one of me on my immediate team. When I say the only one of me, a black woman. I work in IT, okay? And ever since I've been with the company that I'm with, I have shown up as myself. There is nothing for you to see me walk around in those hallways at the job in 3-inch heels, okay? With whatever I have on, form fitting, 90% of the time, because I am a curvy woman and I'm not wearing no damn burlap bag or a huge trash bag anywhere. So yeah, it's form fitting, and I have on 3 to 6-inch heels when I was younger, and I am making it do what it do. And anybody that has an issue with it, guess what? That's on them. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. So I say that to say this: leave people the hell alone going into 2026. Okay? If you ain't got it like that, then celebrate her because she does. Now, I'm done fussing. And I do this because I truly love y'all. I want y'all to do better. I want us all to do better. We all have some work to do. Nobody is exempt. All right? So, spread the word, like the video, share the video, and stay tuned for more. I love you all. Namaste.